The moment is here. This is our moment.
Hey everybody, welcome to America Unfiltered with James Pascalides. This is episode 7. I'm going to do a dive today into a few different topics. I'm going to talk about Peter Hegseth and him being announced the defense secretary for Donald Trump. I'm also going to talk about Hamas finally accepting a draft agreement for a ceasefire on the Gaza Strip and the potential TikTok ban happening on January 19th of this month. To dive right into things today, I want to talk about our new defense secretary pick. I think it's a great pick by President-elect Donald Trump. I think he's a patriot, he's a former Army officer, and he's a political commentator as well. His quotes today from his Senate hearing is he wants to restore the American warrior ethos, rebuild our military, and reestablish deterrence. I think these are great things. I think picking an outsider to D.C. was also a great move by Donald Trump as well. Picking someone who has not been corrupted is one thing that Donald Trump didn't know going into his first term, but now going into his second term, he realizes a lot more with being way more careful with his cabinet picks. I really think that Peter is a strong leader as the defense secretary. I think he will help rebuild our military a lot. In his Senate hearing today, he was also asked about if he wanted to keep women in combat roles and keep women in the military, which he responded to yes. He said the only thing he would want to change is he'd want to change the fitness standards to match the men's. He says he doesn't think just because of gender that the standards for our military should be any lower, which I personally agree with. I think our military should remain as strong as possible. Our military, especially the physical side of our military, should not be weakened because of gender at all. So I think men and women should be able to serve. I commend anyone who chooses to serve, but I don't think that the physical requirements for serving should be less for women than it is for men. I also want to talk about today Hamas. They have accepted a draft agreement for a ceasefire in the Gaza Strip and potentially to release dozens of hostages as well. This comes a couple weeks after Donald Trump said that if all the hostages are not released by the day he takes office, that all hell will break loose around the world. I think Donald Trump is a strong leader. He's an excellent negotiator, and I think him putting this deadline on Hamas to release these hostages not only was a smart strategic move by him, but I think it shows the dominance and patriotism that we're all looking for in this country. I think having a leader who's willing to get hostages back for our country, get hostages back for other countries, a leader who's not willing to put up with all the terrible things that are happening currently around the world, I think is a leader we need. Donald Trump is the only president in the last 40 years who did not have any new wars under his presidency when he was president 4 years ago. That didn't happen in any of the previous administrations before him or in the Biden-Harris administration following him. I think Donald Trump will be excellent for this country and for peace throughout the world and the United States. I want to talk about the TikTok ban. I personally do not think TikTok should be banned, and a lot of conservatives, I think, agree. TikTok will be banned if it's not sold to a United States company by January 19th. A few different companies and a few different people have talked about buying it. Kevin O'Leary has talked about buying TikTok. He's a shark from Shark Tank and a VC. Mr. Beast, also known as Jimmy Donaldson, has talked about buying TikTok as well. He is a young YouTube influencer who is worth roughly over a couple $1 billion. Trump has also talked about how TikTok has not only been beneficial for the younger generation, but how it has boosted conservatives throughout the younger generation by over 5 times. Trump is 5 times more popular on TikTok than any other political account on TikTok, including Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, and a bunch of other conservative and Democratic accounts. I think that it is a crucial platform for reaching younger audiences. I think it's a very popular platform throughout the country as well. If Donald Trump can get it done to keep TikTok in the United States, not only will it boost his popularity with the younger generation, but it will also be able to give him a platform to communicate with that younger generation regularly like he is. I think people like Charlie Kirk also use this platform a lot to reach younger viewers who they normally wouldn't have access to through other social media platforms like Facebook and things like that. I really think that the more we're able to keep this dialogue open, the more we're able to communicate to people, whether it's through TikTok, through X, through Facebook, messaging, whatever it is. I think the more we're able to do that as Americans, the more we'll benefit. I think this country is the greatest country to have ever existed. I'm James Pascalides. This is America Unfiltered, episode 7. I'm signing off. I hope you all have a blessed day. Thank you.